USS Gerald R. Ford isn't just a warship, it's a floating city. Stretching 1,092 feet long and carrying 4,500 sailors, this $13 billion behemoth launches 90 aircraft into combat. But none of that happens without fuel. Not just for the jets or the twin nuclear reactors, but for the crew. Feeding 4,500 people a day, 3 meals plus snacks, in the middle of the ocean is a logistical marvel that rivals the carrier's missile defense systems. Every day, this ship churns through 13,500 meals, thousands of gallons of water, and enough coffee to keep a small nation awake. How does the U.S. Navy pull it off? It's not just about food. It's about precision, morale, and survival in a steel fortress far from land. Let's dive into the heart of the Ford's food machine. First, the scale. The Gerald R. Ford, the Navy's largest carrier, houses a crew equivalent to a small town. Pilots, engineers, medics, and deckhands, all burning thousands of calories under high-stress conditions. A sailor on a 12-hour shift might need 3,500 calories a day. And the Navy delivers. The ship's galleys, massive industrial kitchens, operate 24/7, producing everything from eggs to enchiladas. Each galley is a hive of activity, staffed by 100 culinary specialists, or CSs, who are part chef, part logistician. These aren't your average line cooks. They're trained to whip up 18,000 pounds of food daily, from scratch or pre-prepped ingredients, under conditions that would break most restaurants. The supply chain is the backbone. Before the Ford leaves port, it's loaded with 600,000 pounds of food, enough to feed 4,500 for 90 days without resupply. Massive storerooms, some refrigerated to -10 degrees Fahrenheit, hold 10,000 pounds of beef, 15,000 pounds of chicken, 5,000 gallons of milk, and 20,000 eggs. Dry stores brim with 30,000 pounds of flour, rice, and pasta. The Ford supply officers plan 6 months out, using software to predict consumption down to the last burger bun. In 2024, the Navy's Combat Logistics Force, ships like the USNS Supply, delivered 1.2 million pounds of provisions to carriers at sea, often via helicopter or underway replenishment, where ships transfer pallets while steaming at 15 knots. No Amazon Prime here, just sailors dangling 40-ton cranes over churning waves. The galleys are engineering marvels. The Ford has 4 main kitchens, each with convection ovens that can bake 500 rolls an hour, griddles that sizzle 200 steaks at once, and steam kettles holding 80 gallons of soup. The ship's electromagnetic aircraft launch system gets the headlines, but the real tech flex is in the kitchen. Automated dishwashers clean 10,000 plates daily, and water purification systems produce 200,000 gallons of fresh water from the sea, enough to keep the crew hydrated and the pasta boiling. Every meal is a race against time. Breakfast service starts at 0500, lunch at 1100, dinner at 1700, with midrats, midnight rations, for night crews. Each sailor gets 20 minutes to eat, so the line has to move like a carrier takeoff, fast and flawless. But it's not just about quantity, it's about quality. Morale hinges on food. A bad meal can sour a crew under the stress of 18-hour days and combat drills. The Navy knows this, so menus are diverse. Pizza, tacos, stir-fry, even vegan options. On holidays, the Ford goes all out. Thanksgiving 2024 saw 2,000 pounds of turkey and 500 pies served. Culinary specialists rotate menus every 14 days to avoid monotony, using recipes tested at the Navy's Culinary Institute in San Antonio. They're not just feeding bodies, they're keeping spirits high. thousands of miles from home. The USS Gerald R. Ford doesn't stop for anything. Not storms, not combat, not even a supply chain hiccup. Feeding 4,500 sailors a day is a mission as critical as launching F-35s. In Part 1, we saw the scale of the operation: massive storerooms, high-tech galleys, and a relentless pace to serve 13,500 meals daily. But what makes this system truly remarkable is how it holds up under pressure. Whether it's a Pacific typhoon, a combat deployment, or a global supply crunch. Let's break down the rest of the Navy's food machine and why it's as resilient as the carrier itself. Contingency planning is key. The Ford's 90-day food supply is a buffer, but the Navy doesn't gamble on smooth sailing. If a resupply ship is delayed, say, by a Chinese blockade in the South China Sea, the culinary team switches to contingency menus. These prioritize non-perishables like canned vegetables, dried beans, and MREs, meals ready to eat. In 2023, during a simulated blockade exercise, the Ford ran on reduced rations for a week, serving high-calorie MREs to maintain energy levels. The crew griped, "Nobody loves MRE lasagna," but the ship stayed operational. The Ford also carries emergency stocks of freeze-dried meals, enough for 30 days, stored in watertight compartments to survive flooding or battle damage. Combat changes everything. During high-tempo operations, like the Ford's 2024 deployment near Taiwan, meal schedules compress. Instead of sit-down dinners, sailors get grab-and-go meals, sandwiches, protein bars, and fruit, handed out on the flight deck between sorties. The galleys shift to battle messing, prioritizing speed over variety. Ovens run hotter, producing 1,000 pre-packed meals an hour. Culinary specialists train for this, practicing in mock combat scenarios where they cook under simulated missile strikes or power outages. The Ford's nuclear reactors ensure the galleys stay powered, but backup generators and portable stoves are ready if the worst happens. Health and safety are non-negotiable. The Navy's food safety protocols rival a hospital's. Every shipment is inspected for contamination: biological, chemical, or radiological. In 2022, a spoiled beef batch was caught in Norfolk before it reached the Ford, thanks to sensors that detect bacterial growth. On board, galleys are sanitized every 4 hours, and food is stored at precise temperatures to prevent spoilage. The ship's medical team monitors for foodborne illness with rapid response protocols to isolate outbreaks. A single bad meal could sideline a squadron, so the Navy takes no chances. The human element seals the deal. Culinary specialists aren't just cooks, they're morale officers. They know a hot meal after a 14-hour shift can keep a sailor sharp. They also adapt to the crew's diversity. 40% of the Ford's sailors come from non-Western backgrounds, so menus include halal, kosher, and vegetarian options. In 2025, the Navy rolled out cultural food days like Filipino adobo or Indian curry, boosting camaraderie. The Ford's bakers even churn out 1,500 fresh rolls daily, a small touch that looms large when you're months from shore. During a 2024 port call in Japan, the crew traded recipes with locals, bringing sushi techniques on board. A reminder that food builds bridges, even on a warship. The Ford's efficiency sets it apart. Compared to the older Nimitz-class carriers, it feeds 4,500 with 25% fewer crew thanks to automation. Conveyor belts move trays, reducing mess deck congestion. Smart inventory systems track every ounce of food, minimizing waste. In 2024, the Ford recycled 10,000 pounds of food scraps into compost for portside donation, a Navy first. This efficiency frees up sailors for combat roles, making the ship leaner and deadlier. Feeding 4,500 isn't just logistics, it's strategy. A well-fed crew is a fighting crew, and the Ford's galleys are as vital as its radar. From storerooms packed with 600,000 pounds of provisions to galleys that churn out 18,000 pounds of food daily, the system is built to withstand war, isolation, or disaster. It's a testament to the Navy's obsession with readiness. No detail is too small, no meal insignificant. The Gerald R. Ford doesn't just carry 90 aircraft and 2 nuclear reactors. It carries the will to keep 4,500 sailors fed, focused, and ready for anything.